Hello, friends. It's Miss Morris. Today, we are going to be working on color coding some sentences. And color coding is a great way to help your brain remember all the parts of speech. Okay, so let's take a look at our directions. Color code the sentences, highlight the subject and the predicate. For today's lesson, you will need a pencil. Miss Morris is going to use a pen because it shows up better on the camera. You will also need a yellow, an orange, and a blue. Crayons will work just fine. So if that's what you have, then that'll work too. And if you don't have any colors at all, it's going to be okay. I'm going to show you what to do then. All right. So one thing I like to do when I am starting off this lesson is I like for all of my nouns are going to be yellow, and I make myself a little key. A key is something that you can refer back to let you to help you remember what the colors mean. Okay, so it's always the first thing I do, and I'm going to let the color yellow represent my nouns. Now, what is a noun? Oh, yeah, that's right. It's a person, place, or thing. Okay, so my second thing is I'm going to use orange here, and my orange is going to represent verbs. What's a verb? A verb is usually a word that shows action, but we've also learned that sometimes verbs don't show action. They can also show a state of being. Okay? And my blue color. This is a new one for us. Our blue one is going to represent adjectives. Now, adjectives are describing words. So Ms. Morris is going to use an abbreviation for the word adjective. I'm going to use ADJ. Okay? So all of my nouns are going to be what color? Yellow. Good. And the verbs are going to be orange. Perfect. And the adjectives? Blue. Adjectives are my describing words. Okay, let's look at our first sentence. Nate hit the baseball. The first thing I'm going to do is pick up my yellow, and I'm going to find the nouns. What are the nouns in the sentence? Nate hit the baseball. The first noun is the naming noun, Nate. The second noun is baseball. Yes. Remember, nouns are, a lot of times when I think of nouns, I think of things that I can touch. Okay? You can touch a person. You can even touch a place, although you probably shouldn't. And you can touch things. Okay? So I don't see any more nouns. The next thing is my verbs. Nate hit the baseball. What did he do? That's right, he hit the baseball. Nate hit the baseball. We only have one word left. The is actually a special word. It's called an article or a noun marker. And we will learn what to do with noun markers later on. So now my sentence is pretty much ready to go because there's not a describing word. When I look next to Nate, I don't see any words to describe him. And when I look next to baseball, I don't see any words that describe the baseball either. So I don't get to use my blue for this sentence. But there's one more thing I have to do. It says for me to highlight the subject and predicate, but Miss Morris likes to do it a little bit differently. I like to put in a chop, like this. Nate hit the baseball. Who hit the baseball? Nate. Remember, the subject, it tells who or what. The predicate, it tells about the subject. The word Nate is the subject of our sentence. And hit the baseball is the predicate. It starts on the verb and it goes all the way through. Nate hit the baseball. I like to circle the predicate phrase. So now look at my sentence. Whoa. Okay, I'm going to do one more with you before I release you to do it on your own. Nancy wrote a funny short story. What color should I begin with? Do you remember? Nouns. Nouns first. Okay, so Nancy, that's a person, our naming noun. She wrote a funny short story. I can't really touch funny or touch short, but I could touch a story. That's because a story is a noun. Okay? It's a person, place, or thing. Now I'm done with my nouns. It's my next color. Yep, verbs. Good job paying attention. Nancy wrote a funny story. A verb tells me the action. What did Nancy do? She wrote. Nancy wrote a funny short story. I still have my blue left. Adjectives tell what kind, or they tell how many. You have to find nouns in order to find adjectives. Touch your first noun. Is anything describing Nancy? No. Well, what about story? Is there anything that's describing the story? You're right. It's a funny story. And it's also a short story. 2 words were describing the noun. And do you know what I like to do? I like to connect these adjectives to the noun that they describe, like this. The word short, it's not describing Nancy. It's describing the story. And the word funny, it's also describing the story. Look at my pretty little rainbow I made. But I'm not done yet. I still have to find my subject and my predicate. The subject, it tells who or what. Nancy wrote a funny short story. Who did? That's right, Nancy. And what did she do? She wrote a funny short story. So Nancy is the subject of this sentence. Notice that it's not the only noun, but it is the subject of the sentence. So Ms. Morris sometimes calls this the main noun. And wrote a funny short story becomes my predicate. Okay, I feel confident that you can do the rest of these. If you get confused, look back up at your key, and you can always ask your teacher if there's something that you don't understand. Have a great time coding. Bye.